And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a little game called Cat Rescue, which might look like a kid's game. It is not. It's a cooperative game about rescuing cats. Here's how it plays. This is the shelter in the middle of the table. You're going to put 4 cats randomly face up with this token placed like this on the bottom right. You'll notice the cats are different colors. There are some cats that are wild colors. Each player has 2 cats placed in front of them. These 2 cats are technically in a foster home. And then we have the forever place. This is where the cats are going to go and live forever. On your turn, you'll pick a cat from your street area. You'll pick a cat from the street deck or from your foster home. But if you pick a card from your foster home, then this will be flipped over, and the next cat has to be from the street. And if it's the street, the next cat has to be from the foster home or the street. So you can always pull cards from the top of the deck. So let's say I decide that I'm going to use one here from my foster home. I'm going to put it next to any card, and then I'm going to push all the cards in that column. I could not have put it here and pushed because this one can't be pushed, the one with this token on. Once I've done what I've done, I will then put this here, and I'm going to flip this over to show that it's a foster home. The next person must draw from the street and put one on. This is a red one, so maybe it'll place that one here and push down. Putting this here, bringing it back to me. So I'm going to also draw from the street because I'm allowed to do that. This is a wild one. There's a lot of good ways this could work, but unfortunately I don't have it. I'm going to put it here and push this way. Now after this is done, I have formed a group of 3 or 4 of the same color. When that happens, the card that's in the middle, which could be 1 or 2 cards, is turned over. That cat is now ready for adoption. If I manage to, in the future, push that cat off the board, that cat and any other cat that's next to it that's also ready for adopted gets thrown in there in the forever home. Isn't that great? If a cat ever gets pushed off and it's not ready for adoption and it comes in front of you. So you have to be careful because the game will end if at the end of your turn you have 3 cats in your foster home. The game also ends when this deck itself runs out. At that point you'll calculate your score. Each adopted cat is worth 2 points. Each cat that's ready to adopt, that's face down still on the board, is worth 1. 0 to 9 is considered bad. 10 to 20 is considered bleh. 20 to 30 is considered good. 30 plus, great. 40 plus, amazing. I guess I've never even seen, I can't use binoculars to see that score. But that's how you play the game. You can also play with these power markers, and you can use one that hasn't been used yet, and each of these will let you do a special power. It's neat that this box folds out to become the home like this. I like this idea a lot. That's fun. The rule book is fine. It shows you how to play. The cards are extremely good quality with nice linen finish. They're really easy to tell apart by color and symbol. And we cannot argue how cute the cats are. The board itself is a cloth board, which I don't know what this material is. It's like a baby blanket feel. Is I guess the best way, like the kind that they give you when you go home from the hospital. So yeah, pretty good components. Cat Rescue is one of those games where, again, it looks like this cute kitty game, and it even doesn't sound complex. That's the kind of weird thing about this game. It's put a card out and then side cards. It's almost a little confusing in the sense you can only push cards this way, and if you take one off the street this turn, it has to come from the shelter next turn. And I honestly thought that and moving that thing in the middle was a little fiddly. Considering it's pretty much the only thing in the game, it shouldn't be that fiddly feeling. I don't know how to explain it. But I think at the end of this game, when I play these games and I look at the game, I kind of struggle with what happened and what we could have done differently. Now, this is a cooperative game where everything is open information. So it's essentially a solo game, really, because no players have special powers. All players have are the cards in front of themselves. I could say, I'm going to move this, and someone will say, no, you need to put that card and move it here. We call this the alpha player syndrome, which many people argue is a player problem, which is true, but also it's a game problem in my opinion, because in this game, it's literally a solo game that we're just all doing together. And so that's my one problem with it, because as a multiplayer game, the very first time I tested this out, I played it solo. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's different when I play multiplayer. Nope. It just was one person. You can sit there and say, that's not the best move, but what are you supposed to do? Be quiet on someone else's turn? Some people are going to see the better moves. And it just put stuff down, slide it around. There's a lot of luck in how the cards come out. And it just isn't intuitive. It's really weird. It's not an intuitive game. Because you're just sitting there constantly the whole time. You're saying, I'm trying to line up to get 3, hopefully 4, because 4 is so much better than 3, because you flip over 2 cards. That's a 200% increase, which in this game is huge. In a row at the same time. Once you have them in a row, you want to push them off. But if that's all you think about is pushing them off, the game will end before you push off hardly enough to get a high score. The scores are also kind of ambiguous, so you don't really know if you've done well. There's like not a win-loss condition. It's just like, what's the highest score? Which again is kind of in the league of solo gaming. This is a 1 to 5 player game. I can't imagine playing it with 5. The most I played it with actually is 2. And no, I played it with 3. And it just, again, it always felt like a 1 player game, which isn't a bad thing. I just wish they could almost market it that way. But for me, it was just too weird. The sliding stuff, and then you can put this there, and you're always trying to look 2 moves ahead and push cats off the board. I have no problem with the theme, the cuteness of it, the quality of the components. That's all great. And I also think there's a lot of folks out there who are going to enjoy this and have a good time with it. I want to play. This game felt almost like a lot of work, and that work didn't correspond with the size and cuteness of the theme. It almost was at a discord in a sense to me. And that's why this game just feels like a game that I can look at and go, that's a clever, interesting idea, but is it fun? And for me, it wasn't necessarily. So that's Cat Rescue. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Dice Tower Judgment, neat idea, not for me.